I am Jen and this is April and we're from the Healthy Living Center. So we are so excited to be here with you guys. Today we're going to be doing a full body 10-minute workout, interval workout. Really we wanted to give you guys something that is quick and simple that you can do in your work attire or at work or whatever is convenient for you guys, because we know that it's really hard to fit in a physical activity routine in a hectic schedule. Yeah. So just a little bit about us as we're trying to get started. We are both clinicians at the Healthy Living Center. I'm the exercise specialist and April's our registered dietitian, and also she's certified in personal training as well. We run both group programs and individual programs, all related towards health, bettering health.
And we're excited about our new program, which is actually a personal training program that you can look for in 2018. It'll be probably 6 sessions, once a week for 6 weeks, where you'll get to work with either Jen or myself individually doing some strength training. So this is kind of a little preview of what that might be like.
Okay. So we chose interval training for a number of reasons that April is going to talk about. Can you shift a little bit? Perfect. That April's going to be talking about. So do you want to talk about the interval training?
Yeah, so we chose to do a circuit workout today. That's Jen and my favorite style of workout. And basically what circuit training is when you do several strength exercises in a row that all focus on different muscle groups. So the key to circuit training is to have very little rest in between each exercise, because one of the biggest benefits of circuit training is that you get strength benefits and also cardiovascular benefits, because even though you're doing strength training, your heart rate remains elevated for the entire time. So what we're going to do is an interval style circuit workout, so we won't be counting the reps or sets that we're doing, but we will be doing everything based on time. So we're going to do 10 different exercises for 45 seconds each and 15 seconds rest in between. We're going to use an interval timer to make that a little bit easier. We think that's one of the most convenient things about this workout, is that if you can use your phone, you can use, we're using a Gymboss, and you can just have it running. You can watch TV, you can be at work, and you don't have to be focused on counting reps or sets. So one of the big things with circuit training is that it's convenient, and also one of my favorite benefits is that after you stop working out, you keep burning calories for a longer time than if you did strength training or cardiovascular training alone. So it's efficient in that you're getting both cardio and strength in a short amount of time, and it's efficient in that you're still getting benefits even after you stop working out. So we're really excited to share this workout with you guys today.
Yeah, so right now we're going to be going into explaining the exercises that we chose in detail and a little bit about why. And then after we explain it, we'll be doing the 10-minute workout with you guys. So hopefully you have something at your desk. Maybe you don't have a resistance band, but you have a water bottle or a stapler or something, or no weight at all is fine as well. And we have Sarah with us. She's holding the camera now. So if you can leave comments or questions, that would be great. We'll hopefully get to a couple of them, but if not, we'll be looking at the comments later to answer any questions. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Okay. Okay. So we divided our muscle groups into 5 major muscle groups. We're going to be targeting the core, shoulders, chest, back, and then lower body. So we're doing 2 exercises for each major muscle group, and then what April described as a format of a minute long, 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off. So the first 2 that we're doing are targeting our core muscles. So the first one is called a plank with an overhead reach. So we're going to start with the modified version first, and then I'll give you alterations to make it a little bit harder. So April is standing in a plank position, obviously on an elevated surface. Her hands are directly underneath her shoulder blades. Her feet are firmly planted on the floor, and as you can see, she has a very straight line from her head to her toes. She's going to be reaching overhead, keeping her core engaged. When I say engaged, I mean that it's almost like bringing your navel to the back of your spine, so really keeping it tight. And she's alternating overhead reaches between different arms. Okay, to make it a little bit more difficult, she's now going to be on the floor, lowering the surface, makes it a little bit harder. Again, the same type of position, and then she's elevating her arms overhead. Okay? And when we're actually working out together, we'll be doing this for a continual 45 seconds, and then with that 15-second rest in between. So next we're going to be doing a Russian twist. So Russian twists are really great because it strengthens your rotational core muscles, so your core and then your abdominals. First, we're going to be doing an upright Russian twist, where she's just sitting in an upright position. She is keeping her shoulders back and her chest up. She's going to be keeping her core tight so that she can twist as much as she can to one side, still engaging the core, bringing it back into resting position and then to the other side. Okay? To make it a little bit more difficult, we're going to add some gravity to that. So she's going to be leaning back into a 45-degree angle, still keeping her core engaged, and then using that rotational strength to move to one side and the other. So not only is she engaging her core, but you're also working your lower back and your hips as well. So double whammy. Okay, next, so after the core, we're going to move on to our shoulders. Not a big frame. So we're moving on to our shoulders. So the first one that we're going to do is called the Around the World. But instead of laying down, we're going to be focusing on our shoulders by standing or sitting with a resistance band. Okay, so she's going to be sitting on the resistance band to have that stabilized, holding each side with her palms facing forward. You're going to create like a half circle above head. And when she's coming up into that above head position, her arms are slightly bent. Okay? To make it a little bit harder, she's going to be standing on the resistance band now. It's going to make the resistance a little bit smaller, so there's a less slack. And again, the same type of movement. So her palms are facing forward, and then she's bringing her arms above head. Okay? Good job. Next we have a shoulder press. So the shoulder press, you're still going to be in that same position on the resistance band. The starting position will be in almost like a goalpost position. So our elbows are going to be in line with our shoulders, palms facing forward. You're going to reach overhead. Yep, and again, arms slightly bent at the top, and then back down to that goalpost position. And when you're doing any of these exercises, you do want to make sure that your core is engaged so that you are stabilizing those muscles. Okay? To make this one a little bit harder, we're going to add a frontal raise with it. So with the resistance band, you are going to start with a frontal raise and then reach all the way overhead to a full extension. And then at the top of that frontal raise, she's going to lower it into that T, or the goalpost, and then back down to the frontal raise. Great. One more. Awesome. Okay, so next we have chest. So the two exercises for the chest, we have a chest press, again, with the resistance band. So what she's doing is wrapping it behind her shoulder blades and then underneath her arms. She's going to be holding both of the resistance bands on each arm, and then really elevating or extending her arms so that you're creating that taut resistance band. And move to the side. Okay. Perfect. And to make this one a little bit harder, I would either double up on band or get a resistance band that has more strength. So usually the blue ones or the black ones are increasing resistance. So again, that same motion. The last one for the chest, we have a push-up. Okay, so for the push-up, you're going to be starting in that same plank position that we were in the beginning. Okay, so again, her palms are right under her shoulder blades, feet flat on the floor, straight back. She's going to be lowering her body with her elbows tucked in. You don't really want to have that T formation because what happens is it puts a lot of extra pressure on your shoulders. So her elbows are tucked in. And she's lowering it down until it's in line with her back, and then she's coming all the way down. Sorry, you want to make it a little bit harder, she's going to be doing them on the floor. Again, so you want to, as whatever movement you're doing, you want to make sure that you still have the same line in your back. So not bringing your hips too far down or too far up. Okay,
all right. Next, we're going to be moving on to some exercises for the upper back. The first one is one of my favorites. It's very simple, and it's called angel wings. So For this exercise, you're going to be holding the band in front of you with your thumbs pointing outward. And all you're going to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together and allow your hands to come out in a kind of like wing flapping movement. So this is a great exercise to be able to practice feeling that squeeze between your shoulder blades and really isolating those rhomboid muscles. So the easiest version is standing or sitting, and then to make it a little bit harder, we're going to add a balance aspect. So what this does is it uses more stabilizing muscles in your ankle, knee, hip, and core, helps you burn more calories during the exercise, and also helps with injury prevention because those stabilizing muscles are what really helps to prevent things like falls. So this is a great exercise for upper back and full body. Next, we're going to be doing a back row. We're going to start seated because the seated position really allows you to check your form really well. So what we notice is that Jen's back is up straight, it's not hunched over, and her feet are out in front of her, and all she's going to do is pull her elbows straight back as if she's elbowing someone directly behind her. Exactly. So her hands in the ending position are just right beneath her chest. So two mistakes that people make with this exercise are to flare the elbows out wide, which defeats the purpose of squeezing your shoulder blades together, and also to bring your hands up and turn it into a bicep curl. So that's not what we want. So here with this exercise, Jen is really isolating her upper back muscles. So for the more difficult version, what Jen's going to do is just do the exact same thing but standing. So we call this a bent over back row. So it's the exact same movement, but it uses a lot more lower back and core muscles because she's stabilizing her entire core instead of sitting up. So one thing that really helps to keep the upper back straight is to look ahead instead of just letting your face look down at your feet. Good job, Jen. Okay. All right, the last muscle group that we're going to be doing is the legs. And we have two exercises for you guys. These are squats and lunges. If you are not familiar with these exercises, or if you're new to exercising, a great tool to use is a chair. Let's actually bring it out a little bit. Yeah, bring it out a little bit more. Okay, so the first thing Jen's going to do is situate her feet 6 to 12 inches away from the chair, and then she's going to lower her butt right just into the edge of the chair. And she's not putting a lot of weight on it. She's basically just letting her butt tap the chair. So the key here is that her feet are out and away from the chair, because what this does is when she sends her butt back to the chair, it keeps her knees behind her toes. So when the knees come past the toes is when we put a lot of pressure on our knees, and it can cause knee pain or knee injury. And Jen is also keeping her torso as upright as possible. You'll notice it's almost parallel to her shins. So you don't want a lot of excess forward lean where your torso is almost parallel to the floor. You really want it to be just about parallel to your shins. And then a harder version of this exercise is to make it more dynamic and more explosive with some jump squats. And if you're new to this, a safe way to do it is to actually pause for 1 to 3 seconds when you land. And that helps with all those stabilizing muscles in your knee, helps to make sure that you're landing with good form. Awesome. The last exercise we're going to show you before we actually get started with our workout are lunges. And the chair is another good tool for those of you who are beginners. And so what Jen's going to do is she's going to put her toes right beneath the back of this chair. She's sending her back leg back, keeping her torso upright, and it stays upright during the exercise. She doesn't let it come forward or lean back. And then she's just going to lower her hips until her knee touches the chair. So again, what the chair is doing is it's a tool that's helping her knee not go past her toe to make sure that we're strengthening the knee and not causing it any harm. And that back knee just comes straight down to the floor. You want to make sure that that back foot is directly up and down. A lot of times, one of the mistakes that people make is to let the toe flare out. You want the toe to be pointed straight down towards the floor. So Jen's form looks awesome. And to make it a little bit harder, for those of you that want more of a challenge, we're going to add a balance aspect to it. So Jen's going to do a back lunge, and then when she comes up, she's just going to balance on that stabilizing leg for 1 to 2 seconds. So again, this uses a lot more core than when both of her feet were staying on the ground the entire time. So in our workout, we're going to be doing all the lunges on one leg, and then at home, if you were to go through it 2 times, you could switch to the other leg to get that, that balance to work out. Or if you're only going to go through it 1 time, you could do 20 seconds on each leg.
Yeah. So before we get started, how much time do we have, Sarah? Okay. So before we get started, is there any questions that seem concerning or that we can answer right away?
Rasha Marie is wondering if do it daily for working in the office.
Do it daily?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you, again, this is just a 10-minute workout. So if you want it to be a little bit more intense, or you wanted to add a warm-up with the things that we're going to do in a minute, I think that's a great everyday workout. If you are feeling very sore or you're really feeling the effects of the workout, I would give yourself at least 48 hours before doing it again. But I think doing it a couple times a week is a great way to make sure that you're getting a full body workout and really engaging those muscles. Would you agree?
Yeah, so when you get all the benefits from your strength training is actually during the recovery period. So if you feel really sore after you do this workout, then you want to give yourself a day or 2 until you don't feel sore, because that's a sign that your body is recovering and building up muscle and making you stronger. So you don't want to tear down more muscle before you can build it up again.
Okay.
But if you're feeling good, then do it every day.
All right. So I hope you guys are doing this with us in your office, but we're just going to get into the full 10-minute workout now. Okay, so let's set this up. Okay, so again, we're going to be starting with the core. April is going to be doing the full version, and I will be doing the modified version throughout the entire 10 minutes. Okay, so we're going to start out with that overhead plank. Did you start it already?
No, I didn't. All right, so we're going to start in 3, 2, 1,
let's go! So again, for these, we're going to be doing it for 45 seconds straight. April and I are trying to keep our core engaged, and we are trying to keep our backs in line the entire time. But we're really reaching overhead and keeping our body stabilized.
I'm feeling this in my shoulders too. Feeling it everywhere. 18 seconds left. For those of you that are desk-exercising at home or in the workplace.
Hopefully you're doing this with a friend, or we can be your friends for the
workout.
Alrighty.
Okay, next we're doing Russian twist.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing it on the chair,
And I'll be doing it on the floor with a little bit of incline.
Again, for these ones, I will be just doing the upright position, and April will be doing with the 45-degree angle. Okay, so keeping your core tight. Again, almost like you're bringing your navel into your spine, which sounds a little bit strange, but making sure that those core muscles are engaged.
I'm feeling it.
Same. And it's always okay to do the modified version. Again, if you're doing this now, you're probably at work, you're probably in your work clothes, unless you came prepared. And so it's fine to do the modified, as long as we're moving.
3 seconds left. And then moving on to shoulders.
Okay, so shoulders, the first one that we did was the around the world, right? So if you don't have a resistance band, feel free to grab something a little bit heavier or just do it without any resistance. But I will be doing, the around the world on the, okay, sorry. So I will be sitting on the resistance band. And again, palms facing forward, and then in that upright overhead position. Okay, your chest is up and your shoulders are back, keeping your core engaged the entire time. Okay, so we're making almost like half circles. I wish I could see your comments.
I see lots of hearts. I feel good. It keeps me motivated during my workout. 5 seconds. I think I'm getting more cardio benefit from the adrenaline of being on Facebook Live.
Right. Okay, so next is the shoulder press. So April will be doing the shoulder press with the frontal raise, and I will just be doing a plain old shoulder press standing. Okay, so again, you can wrap around your resistance band. You're going to be in that goalpost position, and then raise above your head, almost in a full extension, but keep your arms slightly bent. Again, keep your core tight. That's something that I'll repeat over and over again. Halfway through. If you guys are doing this with us, give us a thumbs up. No thumbs up. So she'll see. No, I see them. And hearts.
Some of you are lying. I know. It's okay.
So next we have chest. So chest, we are going to do the chest press and then the push-up. So with the chest press, April's going to be doing the regular version with doubled up resistance, and I will be doing just regular resistance. So again, under your shoulder blades, underneath your arms, and then you're going to be holding the resistance and pulling forward, or pushing forward. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the movement. And then, so when you're doing these, try not to have that T position. Try to keep your elbows tucked in.
8 seconds.
So close. After this, we're halfway there.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Next one, we have push-up.
Woo!
So April,
I love
April's doing the full push-up. I can only sadly do a modified push-up. Okay, so again, for these, you're starting in a plank position, and you are lowering your body and keeping your elbows tucked in. And when you're doing these, you want to make sure that you have a straight back all the way from head to toe. One of the common mistakes is to go have your palms above your shoulders when you're doing them, so make sure they're in line with your shoulders as you are doing them. These are so hard.
15 seconds left.
It's okay to take a break.
Deskercises series. Feeling good. 5 seconds.
Woo! Okay. Now on to back.
Okay, so we're going to grab our resistance bands for these. I will be doing the balanced version, and Jen will be doing the regular standing version. So what we're doing here is keeping our elbows tight into our torso and just squeezing our shoulder blades. Like I said, it's a really simple exercise, so it's a great exercise for training your body to isolate one muscle group. In this case, the rhomboids and mid-trapezius.
When I think about doing these, I almost think about like a pencil being in the middle of my shoulders and like squeezing together your shoulder blades to keep that pencil in place.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Like that imagery. All right, now we're going to be going into the back rows. So Jen will be seated on the floor, and I will be doing standing bent over back rows. So like I mentioned before, the key for these is to keep the back straight. So especially when you're doing the standing bent over rows, you want to keep the head looking forward and not down at the floor, because where your head goes, your shoulders will follow. So if I'm looking down at my feet, my shoulders will likely hunch over. So I want to stay up nice and straight. Hands are just coming right below my chest. So if I'm not doing a bent over bicep curl, I'm just sending the elbows straight back, trying to squeeze them as if I was trying to touch my elbows behind my back. 5 seconds.
Almost there.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going into the last 2 exercises both for lower body. So Jen will be doing chair squats, and I will be doing jump squats. So like I said, if you're new to dynamic or plyometric movements, a great thing to do is to pause when you land and check your knees, check your form. Are your knees in front of your toes? Can you still see your toes? Are you having forward lean? Is your chest coming all the way down towards the ground? Or are you landing in perfect squat formation? 15 seconds. Good job, guys.
Are you guys feeling it too?
I hope so. Even if you're not doing the workout with us, your motor neurons are firing, and next time you do it, you're gonna
it.
Yeah, next time you do, you're gonna have better form. Okay, and last but not least, the backward lunges. So I'll be adding the balance component, and Jen will be using the chair to check her form. If you're only doing this once through, you can also do alternating backward lunges. A great thing to do at home as well is to do this set 2 times through, and the first time through, do all of the easier modifications as a warm-up, and the second time through, do all of the harder modifications to really get your heart rate up. All right.
Yay!
Woo!
Woo!
All right, guys.
High five!
If you want to really get your cardio in, work out in public with lots of people watching.
Right, and do this 2 times, or 3. So
right.
thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have any ideas on next things that you want to see, or you have any specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We will be checking through to make sure that we answer all of them. But thank you so much. We had so much fun.
It was great to work out with you, and we hope that this was really helpful.
Thank you.
All right.